Hi everyone, I'm Sarah, Childhood Finds. Thank you for joining me here on my channel today. A little bit about myself, in case you have never joined me here before, is I am a full-time reseller, and the content I share is all about reselling, being self-employed, growing a business, and everything that comes with that. And I want to foster a very positive community here where we share knowledge and support each other and congratulate each other on successes. And one of the things I love to do here is I love research videos. And what I mean by my research videos are I take a specific category or topic and I deep dive into it. And I go and I find all the very valuable items within that niche. And it's not going to be a top 10, so I'm not going to show you the top 10 most valuable things in this category, but I'm going to show you a good chunk of valuable items that you can find out there, no particular order. And the topic we're going to be diving into today is salt and pepper shakers. And the reason why is there's thousands of them. They are absolutely everywhere, and it's hard to know which ones are valuable because, let's be honest, most of them are worth $5, if that. But there are lots out there that are actually worth a lot of money that will surprise you, I think, as we get into them. And there are many people that love to collect them because they are small, they don't take up a lot of space, and they're cute. There are some drop dead cute ones in this video. So I completely understand why people collect them. And there's going to be a whole bunch of different brands that I'm going to be sharing with you. A lot of brand names you're going to recognize, so that'll help you learn as well. But what I would love for you to do in the comments is please put if you've had any amazing salt and pepper shaker sales in down there for me. And it could also not be a great money, but maybe a favorite set you sold or ones that you have on your bucket list, maybe that I didn't share here. Just anything you'd like to say in the topic of salt and pepper shakers. You can also put down there if you have a topic you'd like me to go into in my research videos. You can always put that down there for ideas for me. I'm always happy to take those into consideration and love getting ideas because sometimes my brain isn't working at full capacity, and you guys help me out a lot when you share what you want to see on this channel. So, that being all said, let's go ahead and get started. I am so excited to share this video with you today. We are going to start with one that, if you've been reselling for a while, you've probably heard the name, and this will be no exception for valuable pieces within this brand. So this is Vintage Holt Howard Starry-Eyed Santa Salt and Pepper Shakers. These guys are adorable. And so this set here sold for $250. So what I'm doing in my research videos is I'm mostly showing you ones that have sold within the last 3 months on eBay. And I only show eBay because it's just ease of delivery, but do know that a lot of these shaker sets would sell well on other platforms like Etsy for maybe even more money. So do take that into consideration, that just because I'm showing you eBay doesn't mean it's the end all be all of a place to sell your items. It's just the easiest way to share the information with you. And I do on occasion show you the product research tool on eBay so we can go back a couple years, but I like to show you ones that are selling recently because these products are selling. These are items that you can find. That is the biggest thing that I am a proponent of on my research videos, is I don't want to share the one-offs. I don't want to share the items that come around once every decade. I want to share ones that are coming around at least a couple times a year, or that kind of frequency. So this shaker set here did sell for a best offer of $250. And then I want to show you one more Holt Howard. But first, they do have marks sometimes, not always. This one you can see here says 1960 Holt Howard, but they don't always have a mark. They could have a sticker like this one shown that's kind of peeled off. Now we're going to look at this one. So this one we're going to talk about as well. This is a bunny rabbit salt pepper shakers, and this one sold for $158.56, but they are not in very good condition. They have a lot of issues, and I just wanted to note that you can see that there is no marking or sticker on here. So some of these you just have to start to learn the style, And also, guys, Google Lens is your friend on your phone as well. If you see something interesting, it's worth a quick picture on Google Lens to maybe get an idea of what it is if it's not marked, because just because it's not marked doesn't mean it's not worth any money. But this one does have many condition issues, and the reason I wanted to share it is this set actually can go towards the thousands. And let me see, I have my product research here. So this was the last 3 years, and I wanted to show you that bunny set. You can tell this one is in pretty much pristine condition, and this one sold for over $1,000. And there's just a couple others, like this poodle set of Holt Howard. They're very cute. Very cute. I wouldn't pay $1,000 for them, but they're very cute. But if you're a collector, this would be the creme de la creme, probably, of your collection. So there's just a few here. Here are some, a polar bear cub, 2,900. I tend to ignore the outliers because I want to show you the ones that there is history. But here is that pair of Santa ones as well that sold for a little more money than the one I showed you. So that's also a benefit of going back on product research, is you can see a history of selling. So sometimes you're not going to find these items when you're searching. You're not going to find sold from the last 3 months. So you need to go back further and expand the research. And then just a little bit about Holt Howard. It was founded in 1949 in Manhattan. The first products that they made were Christmas items. That's why they are popular. We're going to go to our next set here, and this is going to be Rosemead pottery, and this is a pair of fish, brook trout salt and pepper shakers. And one with hump, I'm not sure what that means, but this did sell for $199.99, and there are multiples like this that have sold within the last 3 months. And Rosemead typically has a sticker. You can't see it here. I can't tell if it's faded or just glossy in the photo, but it says Rosemead on it, and that is pretty much how you identify them, because otherwise there is no stamp on these ones that I have seen, at least not on this set. And some of them have marks that I was reading, but some don't have a sticker or a mark or anything. So that's why you just have to start to learn what it looks like, and also Google Lens if it's a well-made piece. But this set sold for $200. And then I just wanted to show you within the last 3 years, because this is a set that has sold many times in the last couple of years, and it's these JHawks, Kansas JHawks, and they tend to sell for $500 plus. So I just want you to familiarize yourself with this pair of birds, because boy, oh boy, again, $500 for salt and pepper shakers. That would blow my mind to be able to find something like that. But there's lots of other ones. So here's some Lincoln here. You can see that sticker that says Rosemead on it. So there are various different ones. Here's some badgers. They're so tiny. Guys, they're so little. Very cute. So little. So there's different ones to be out there looking for. They were very popular with the animal shapes from what I could tell in research. Okay, next we're going to go to one that many of you will probably recognize if you're a reseller. And that's going to be Lenox Village. And this is the salt and pepper set, and this did come with a cute little stand. So if you've been a reseller or like watching reselling content, you've heard about Lenox Spice Village. So there's lots of other outlying pieces in that, and I mean, this sold for $225, or no, this one sold for $188, but they do, they do go up to upwards of $200 frequently. So it's definitely a set worth looking out for. This one, you just start to know what it looks like, but they are also marked on the bottom. Here, Lenox 1991, so they are easily identifiable on the mark as well. And this next one is another pattern you probably recognize as well. And this is the Franciscan Atomic Starburst. And there's a couple different little variations I'm going to show you of the salt and peppers here. And it's just a pattern. So with many dish sets that are valuable, your outlying pieces can really have a lot of monetary worth. So the pieces that people have to buy separately. So of course you have your dinner plate, your salad plates, your teacups and saucers. But when you have to go and buy the cream and sugar or dish or the salt and pepper shaker or the gravy boat, those are the pieces that can really start to have value because not as many were purchased and not as many are sold. So here we have, let's look at this one. This is the Vintage Franciscan Atomic Starburst Olba Salt Shaker and Pepper Mill set. And this one has sold multiple times, but that one sold for $800. You can see it again here. Very identifiable, that pattern. And that one also $800, $600. And then here's another version as well. So that's just one to look at for because $800. I bet you did not, if you're not into salt and pepper shakers or you see them out there all the time, you probably didn't think there was that many valuable ones. And then this one I wanted to share. This is a more recent company, and this is Fron Porcelain. And the reason I like this one is I actually just sold the teacup version of this essentially. And this is the Franz Hummingbird and Iris Salt and Pepper Shakers. And I sold a teacup where the handle was the little hummingbird, very cute. And it sold for, I think in the $80. I can't quite, or 60s, something like that, but good money. And it is marked on the bottom where it says Franz. But I believe this is the 2000s is when they started creating these. And there's not a ton out there, but they are very delicate, beautiful designs. And this one did sell for $85. And I want to show you one more of them. And this one is in the box, so you don't see it out, but it's a pair of goldfish. And this did sell for $175, but I also saw ones out of the box in the last 3 years selling for around $100 to $125. So it's still an over $100 set if you can find it out there. Next, this one kind of surprised me. I saw it a lot. It came up a ton. And this is the Neiman Marcus silver-plated artichoke salt shaker and pepper grinder. And do they have a ruler? It's hard to tell how big this is. That's why I love having a ruler. It helps give you an idea of size. But this sells all the time. And this one did sell for the $359.99, but it sells all the time. And this doesn't have the box or anything. Lots are selling with the box, but even without the box, over $300 for this set. And Neiman Marcus, it's a department store, if you weren't aware of that. Here we have a set of Mount Washington Egg Palmer Cox Brownie Salt and Pepper Shakers. So Mount Washington was a company popular in the 1800s, and they made beautiful glass, and they are very well known for this Burmese style. So it's a type of art glass, and it's just well known for its coloration. Essentially, it's that white, creamy, pale yellows, blues, pinks, and it's very prevalent in this company. And so they are not typically marked, but this set here sold for $321.94, but they made lots of other pieces. I currently have a biscuit jar from Mount Washington listed right now, and so there's lots of pieces out there. And then this is just one more piece that you can see again, that coloring, and this is Mount Washington, New Bedford, Burmese salt and pepper, and this one says from 1885, but it sold for $225. It's a very desirable company, and they're just such beautiful display pieces. So I can completely understand why people want to collect these. Now, these ones are the ones that are absolutely blow your mind valuable. These are Pi Japan telephone salt and pepper shakers, anthropomorphic ladies, girls, vintage. So anthropomorphic is definitely something you want to look for, where they make an animal or inanimate object humanized, essentially. And so this sold for, it was a best offer, let me get to it, of $299. But this specific company's pieces can go for even crazier money than that. And I want to show you another one. And these ones sold quite a few different times. And this is a Pixie Flower Salt and Pepper Shaker Set. And again, very, very cute. Look at the little snail. I didn't even notice the snail. That set did sell for $450 in the last 3 months. But let's see. You can see Japan is marked on the bottom. Let's see if we have what we have here. And there's pie on it. But now I want to show you the product research because I want to show you that there are ones that sell for thousands. So if we go up here, like here is this honeybee and flower that sold for $3,500. Oh, and those hippos. Oh gosh, look how cute they are. Adorable little hippos. So there are many different ones, either frying pans, I want to say, with their little spatulas and stuff. Yep, frying pan salt and pepper shakers. And those sold for $2,000. So there are lots of different examples of this. And so why this company's ceramics are popular is they started in the early 1900s, but they really gained a lot of success after World War II. So they had a big post-war expansion when both Japan and the United States were trying to bolster their exports and the economical situation in the countries. And so these pieces really got popular because they're just so bright, vibrant, they're whimsical. So that's why they are so desirable now. And so there are many that are worth hundreds upon hundreds of dollars. And these I wanted to show you, they're not worth hundreds, but they are something you probably see out there relatively frequently. And these are 1970s Tupperware salt and pepper shakers. And the condition definitely affects the value. So this set specifically sold for $40. So if they're in very good condition, you're looking in the $30, $40, $50 range, but you can still get, the $20, $25, even if they've had some yellowing, they've seen some stuff. And it's just, I wanted to share this because a lot of times you will find these for like 50 cents at a garage sale or at an estate sale. So they're definitely worth checking out. I mean, that return on investment is worth it for me. So those are definitely worth taking an extra look at. And then these ones. So Dansk is a brand that I love. I have sold a lot of very valuable Dansk flatware if you watched my channel before. And so these are the salt and pepper mills. And there's multiple different wood ones out there, but I just wanted to share this one with you. This one sold for a best offer of $350, and it's Jin's Kitsgard Dansk salt pepper mill teak mid-century Danish. And the Kitsgard, that he is a Danish sculptor associated with, primarily known for being associated with Dansk, that started in the 1950s. But I did want to show you that these are marked. So it's hard to see it in here, but you can see Denmark, and then Dansk is on here. It's just, there it is. It's hard to see. So these pieces are marked, so they are relatively easy to identify. That is one downfall to some of these other ones, especially the Japan pieces, is a lot of them just had those little stickers on them, and they have lost them over time. But that is why you definitely just do Google Lens real quick, or if it's really cheap and they're real cute, just pick them up. Now we're going to go on to a brand that a lot of people have heard of, and that's Fire King. There's a lot of really valuable pieces out there within that brand, and there's a couple here that I'm going to show you. This is Vintage Fire King Striped Salt and Pepper Shakers and Grease Jar. So it does have a little extra here, so do take that into consideration, that this is not just salt and pepper. And this one did sell for a best offer of $235. And that's also why it's valuable to use the product research tool, is you don't always see exactly what it's sold for. So it says it sold for $270, but that's not always correct. So I like to go and give you the actual value to give you as much accurate information as I can. So these are typically marked. It's very hard to see, but it does say Fire King on the bottom. But these have a very classic design. Fire King is very identifiable once you start to know what it looks like. And I'm going to show you one more within that brand. And this is the Tulip Salt and Pepper Shakers. And these ones are very cute. They have a very beautiful design here on the top that the graphic is in beautiful condition. I bet this graphic is usually marred a lot of the times, but that's in beautiful shape. And that set did sell for a best offer of $126. And now we're going to be moving on to Lefton. And this is a Lefton Green Anthropomorphic Christmas Hollybird Salt and Pepper Shakers. So again, anthropomorphic is definitely something you want to look for. You'll see it all the time. You'll see like fruit, you'll see eggplants with little faces and all sorts of, or fruit and vegetables. You'll see those all the time out there. And those are highly desirable. So even if they are not branded or ones that you recognize, they're definitely worth checking out because it's a very, very popular thing. And let's just be frank, they're really cute. But this set sold for $209.99, and I've seen it sell multiple times for over $200. And then here we have Anesco. And Anesco is another brand you will see out there a lot with salt and pepper shakers. And this is the Sweet Shop Green Boy and Girl with Flour. And this one sold multiple times in this $100 range. I don't know why the price isn't here, but this sold for $125. But I saw multiple examples of them selling for over $100. And just to share again, they don't need to be in perfect condition to sell if they are very sought after. You can tell there's just a bit of wear here that just comes with life and time, especially with these older pieces. So don't be afraid to sell something just because it's not perfect. Just take lots of pictures and talk about it in your description. And then let me see if we have the bottom here. A lot of times there's a sticker for Anesco. And then here's another pair of anthropomorphic, and these are anthropomorphic bears salt and pepper shakers. And these are just so adorable in their little outfits. And let's see if we can see the bottom. Here you go. Here you can see the sticker. That did sell for $149.99. I'm sorry, I'm sniffly. My allergies are destroying me this season. And so I thought it couldn't be a proper video without some Disney representation. There are lots of Disney ones out there, but the ones I saw that tended to be valuable, Ratatouille came up a lot. So this is Disney Pixar Ratatouille salt and pepper shakers. And Ratatouille merchandise in general tends to have some value, so it's definitely worth looking twice at, guys. But this little set of adorable mice sold for $75. And then we have one more, and this is Alice in Wonderland Tweedledee and Tweedledum, and it's a salt and pepper shaker set, and it did sell for a best offer of $125. I saw this one sell frequently in the last 3 years for over $100. Disney ones, there's a lot out there. They're always worth looking at twice, especially if they're nice quality. Okay, these last two that I'm sharing with you is just to talk about for a little bit. Okay, if you see sterling on the bottom of a pair of shakers, you should probably pick them up if they are cheap. But not all sterling pieces are created equally. So this here, why I'm talking about that is this is a pair of Tiffany Co sterling silver big salt and pepper shakers. This adorable little set sold for $350. And so that's, of course, way over the value of sterling. It's the name that is selling this. But I also wanted to show you something you'll see out there all the time. And you're going to find this assorted brands of sterling silver, and they're going to say weighted on the bottom. And there is going to be many of them where they are not super valuable. You will find a lot that are worth $15, $20, $25 for a pair. And let me show you what it says. So here it's where it says sterling and weighted. And this pair sold for $18. It does have a little bit of damage on it too, so keep that in mind. So a lot of these sell for in the low $20-ish range in great condition. So not all sterling is created equally, but if you find it cheap, you should pick it up. but it's also something that many people will price high because they see the word sterling. And so, guys, that is everything I'm sharing with you today. I was a little off kilter today because I am filming this at 11:50 at night because I have been so busy, but I wanted to get this video out. So hopefully, even though it's not in perfect shape, you can still get some value out of this video. So thank you guys so much for joining me.